Okay, hello everyone. So, Summer Game Fest was yesterday, and I'm recording this video a couple of hours after the show ended. Again, just like I don't remember which was the state of play last time out in May. At the end of May, time zone screwed me over. But regardless, here we are to talk about the event that has pretty much replaced E3, as now E3 is dead and buried. And I will immediately start this with saying that this is probably going to be a longer video than the usual, for the reason that, well, this show was 2 hours long, and I have 3 pages worth of notes, so yeah, of course I'll try to skim through the list for the notes as quickly as I possibly can, but yeah, I would not be surprised, and you shouldn't be surprised if it is going to be a little bit longer than usual. And first thing that I wrote in its notes is Keighley have mentioned layoffs, and that was actually a surprising thing, because if you remember, one of the biggest reasons why the Game Awards last year were so hated and Keighley's stock went so low is because they made zero mentions of the hundreds of thousands of layoffs. I mean, okay, it's maybe an exaggeration, but around for something like 30,000 people were fired last year, the whole of 2023. So just the fact that he did mention it today was a big surprise. I mean, he mentioned it, and then he mentioned it quickly and then just kept going with the show, but yeah, that was pretty surprising. But now, for the actual games, we start off with a game that apparently was rumored for a while, but I had no idea it was a thing. So when it did show up, I went, no fucking way. Lego Horizon Adventures. Yeah, even if I knew the rumors, I doubt I would have thought those were real, because, I mean, come on, that's a bit exaggerated. I mean, Lego Horizon is something you think of Lego Horizon, and you think of a custom MOC made by a fan, not something official supported by Lego and Sony, Guerrilla Games, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that was a pretty big surprise to start the show. And since this thing comes in the holidays, no Elder Ring to screw it over. So yeah. Then next up we have No More Room in Hell 2, which I wrote skip because yeah, it's a horror game. I don't care about those. I will say immediately, I skipped the VR only games, because I don't care about VR, so yeah, I just skipped them. But yes, I do know about the new Arkham game that is just VR, and according to a tweet that I read before recording this, there was a lot of sighing by the audience when they found out that the new Arkham game is going to be VR, so yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. And also all the horror games that are going to be in this list, because there's going to be a lot of them. Sorry for that. There's going to be a lot of horror games. I'm going to just skip them because I don't care about them. But anyway, so No Room in Hell 2 is sequel of the Source mod, so yeah, permadeath and all that, so whatever. And then for the third game we have Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. And I wrote in my notes, everyone die cause shit is going down. Because apologies. If you remember back when Hogwarts Legacy came, I'm pretty sure everybody remembers the humongous clusterfuck that happened when Hogwarts Legacy released, and I don't expect this game to be any less. Sure, this is a much smaller game than Hogwarts Legacy ever was, but yeah, considering how controversial Harry Potter is, I expect a lot of shit going down after when this game releases, before and when this game releases. Then we got Cuff Bust, the game made by the developer behind Choo Choo Charles, and I feel, honestly, this to me feels a fusion between The Escapist and Conker's Bad Fur Day, mostly because of the crude humor. I mean, right now there's like crude humor. I mean, I guess I could call it crude humor since those puppets swore and smoking, but yeah. Yeah, that reminded me of that game. And then we have Star Wars Outlaws, which I want to think this game. Actually, I want to believe and want to think that this game is actually good. But you know that since it's Ubisoft, you know that the first thing that everybody's going to say is this shit's gonna be so garbage, it's not even going to be funny. But yeah. Then we have Neva, which I wrote, oh Christ above, by the Gris devs. Because, yeah, this feels like one of those, I mean, this definitely feels like one of those touchy-feely games. I mean, Gris was one of them. It won Games for Impact, I think 2 years ago. But these types of games are I just cannot stand them. So, yeah, I'm going to skip it. And then we have a teaser for Civilization 7, which I think it was leaked just hours before the show began. But yeah, that's, I'll be honest, my knowledge of Civilization starts and ends with Nuclear Gandhi. So yeah, I mean, of course, I am happy for everybody who was expecting it, but yeah, I'm not hyped. Mostly because I know for a fact my sister's definitely going to play it. Then we have Black Myth, the release date for Black Myth Wukong, which I think it's been a while since we've heard of that game. I think they actually released a demo last year, and that pretty much went radio silence. But the game is coming out on August 20th, so yeah. Then we have Once Human, which, not gonna lie, I was sort of looking forward to this game, but then apparently, as the trailer went on, I realized I'm starting to think this game is a co-op shooter, and if that's the case, then yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna bother. And then we have Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 that announced that there's gonna be a game showcase on July 20th. Again, this is gonna be definitely a co-op shooter, so I'm not going to care about it. And then we got ReFantazio, the only Atlas game that the only game that Atlas is going to care about for the foreseeable future. Well, I mean, they have, because SMT5 is coming, and Persona 3 Reload is, then Persona 3 Reload won't be a bother until the answer comes in September. And I'll be honest, I don't care about this game in the slightest. I mean, this year, honestly, I cared very little for Atlas games. I mean, I didn't care about SMT3, and I'll be honest, I hate Shin Megami Tensei in general. I know somebody's going to say, but Persona Shin Megami Tensei, it's a long story. And ReFantazio sounds to me basically SMT, but with the morphin stuff from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And, but yeah, my sister actually asked me if I was going to check the game out. I told her no. So yeah, I'm not going to care about this game, so let's move on. And then, a news that I'm pretty sure no one expected, least of all me. That is news that I'm pretty sure everybody is super hyped for. That being Terry and Mai from King of Fighters, or should I say more SNK in general, being in Season 2 of Street Fighter 6. Yes, I don't believe in myself, but I think this is like the first time in Street Fighter history that we are going to have a crossover with a character that is not from Capcom, unless we exclude Marvel vs. Capcom versus SNK, and actually Marvel vs. Capcom too, I'm sure. But yeah, that's a weird. This announcement could have come at a better time, because a lot of people were starting to be a little bit disaffected with Street Fighter 6. I mean, I'm hyped for this shit, and I promised I was going to play Street Fighter 6, but never did. But honestly, I'm actually buy it because of Terry Mai. And also we have Alina, and for the as the third character is going to be, I'm going to assume it's going to be the third character is going to be released as the third character revealed for actually, no, that's not the third character. As one of the characters revealed for Year 2, aka the Living Nightmare and the Walking Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Generator for all the players in Street Fighter, all the guys that play Street Fighter 4 against her, and Bison. They really couldn't keep him dead, could they? I mean, okay, I get he's a clone and all that, and he took M. Bison because he needs to find purpose in his life, but it doesn't change the fact this is still M. fucking Bison, so yeah, I mean, I understand why they would do it. And Bison is such a big icon. You cannot just make a game and get rid of him because otherwise, you get Street Fighter 5 again. But especially Street Fighter 5 again. But come on. I mean, I guess the clonation thing is a bit of a more justifiable excuse to make him come back. But still, just leave him dead for the love of Christ. But yeah, after that we got Tears of Metal, which I have no particular strong feelings other than most Scottish game ever made, because it definitely is. Then we got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which is the new Budokai Tenkaichi game. And I'll be honest, I don't care about Dragon Ball, so I'm not too excited about this. But I had a couple of people say to me, and I talked to about this game, and actually talking about the possible winners at the Game Awards at the end of the year. And some people have said that this game could be a contender for overall Game of the Year, which I said, no fucking way in hell that's happening, because, okay, Dragon Ball, it's a big deal, and Akira Toriyama died, so that's gonna be also a big factor into it. But I don't think that. But there's no way now this game is going to win Game of the Year, or actually win any awards for Game of the Year for that matter. Maybe just maybe Best Design as a tribute to Toriyama, but I'm not too sure about that one, honestly. But yeah, so that's the game. Then we got two Delta Force games, Hawk Ops and Black Hawk Down. I'll be honest, I didn't pay much attention to them, so yeah, whatever. And then we got some news about Fatal Fury: State of the Wolves, the new Garou game that is going to be released in early 2025. And we actually got footage of B. Janet and another character that I don't remember the name of. Hold on a second. Box Reaper. And yeah, judging from the trailers, yeah, they're definitely going for that style that they already used for KUF 15. So yeah, if things don't go bad, I might buy this game as well. And now we got off to page 2, and we have Battle Crush and Make a Break, two games that, quite honestly, I didn't care, so I just straight up skipped. And then a bunch of announcements from Blumhouse, the film studio that made the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, that are also apparently working on the sequel, that have now made their own game publishing house, and apparently they have on work Crystal, Fear of Idols, Grave Seasons, Sleep Awake, Fear the Spotlight, The Simulation, and Project C. All of which are horror games, and as I've said previously, I don't care about horror games, so I'm just going to skip them all. And then we got Power Rangers Real Rewind, I want to say 16-bit beat 'em up game, which, not gonna lie, it looks pretty fun. I'm probably not going to buy it because I'm not exactly fond of beat 'em ups, but yeah, that honestly looks fun, and yeah. And then we have, after Power Rangers, we have Dear and Boy, which I wrote not again, because again, this feels like one of those touch-feely games. And apparently this game is financially supported by the French government, which, yeah, that's a thing to be proud of, I guess. But yeah, anyway, after that is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which, yeah, whatever. And then we have some trailer footage for Slitherhead, which actually I wasn't aware of this, but it was made. It was made by the creator of Silent Hill. As I've said, it's a horror game, so whatever. But one thing that I will say is the fact that I thought that how you spell the title was different. The spelling of the title was different because. The title is written Slitterhead. Honestly, I thought that was I wrote it as Sliver, Slither. And yeah, that actually the trailer was legitimately the first time I found out about I spelled it wrong the entire time. So yeah. And then something that I'm pretty sure no one expected. A fucking Killer Bean game. Oh shit. But yeah, who fucking... What's even worse is the fact that this game actually literally looks fun. That came absolutely out of fucking nowhere, and yeah, I guess I should be... I mean, okay, sure. It's true that Killer Bean never really died after the 2001 movie because there was the show, and now we have a game. But yeah, a Killer Bean game shown at Summer Game Fest was something that I wouldn't have expected a Killer Bean game to be made at all, let alone to be made and shown as basically one of the most important shows of the year. So yeah. Then after the shock of the Killer Bean game, we got Cairn, which I get the whole premise of the game, the reason why this game was made. But to me, this feels like a clear-cut rage game because, yeah, I mean, they even straight up said that this game is not gonna be an easy one. So yeah, I'm expecting this game to be a rage one. And then we got Wonder Stop, a game that is made by the Stanley Parable developer. So yeah, you can already tell from the trailer alone that this game is not gonna be normal, and everybody is already speculating on what the twist is going to be. I'm going to assume so. Yeah. Then we got Unknown Awakening, which, I didn't care about all too much. And the only thing that I wrote in my note is that the Brits are the bad guys, because, yeah, I'm going to expect some kind of type of commentary on how the British treated the Indians while they were still a colony. I mean, that's pretty much, I'm going to assume that, but outside of that, nothing else. Then we got Monster Hunter Stories, and the fact that there's gonna be some sales for Capcom games. I think at the end of June, I want to say, but I don't remember. And then we have a trailer for Enotria, the Italian Spiral Soulsborne that my sister played, and well, for my case, it's a Soulsborne, so I think it's stay away. I want to stay away from that game as much as I possibly can. And my sister tried the demo, and she said it's straight up garbage. So yeah. Then after that we have the first Descendant, which is a looter shooter made on Unreal Engine 5. And in my notes I wrote, I don't see this game last very long because, it's a feeling that I have, and I think this game is not gonna last very long. Then we have Autoslov, which is basically Innerslov's publishing house that they made with the gazillions amount of money that they made with the plague, the modern day plague known as Among Us. And it actually did show games, but they actually started showing them as I was writing the note, and when I was done, they were like 3-4 games in already, and I actually didn't come back and actually listed them. So yeah, and of course a tease about the Among Us TV show. God help us all. And then up to the third page we go, and Sonic and Shadow Generations, which as the Sonic stuff is basically, so we have one half, as I'm pretty sure right now, is going to be a remaster of Sonic Generations. The Shadow part, I want to say this is going to be a mix of it's definitely going to include levels from the 2005 GameCube game that Shadow was in it. And possibly, maybe Sonic 06, and maybe as also, I would say Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure, 2, because one of the pre-order bonuses is a model of is an avatar for Sonic that resembles his appearance in Sonic Adventure. And maybe even some Sonic Heroes. I honestly don't know. But the game is coming out October 25th, and honestly, I might buy it. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do a playthrough because It basically, outside of the Shadow stuff, that's basically a remaster of Sonic Generations. But yeah, if I do, then you'll see. You'll see. Then we have Dune Awakening, which I never watched the movies and never cared about it. Never watched the movie, never read the books, and so I don't care about Dune, so I skipped it. And then we have Battle Aces, which I'll be honest. From the trailer, I was going to write in my notes already the greatest game ever made in the history of everything ever, trademark. Until the guy behind the game, the head developer of the game, said this is going to be an RTS game. To which I only wrote RTS game, and that was literally it. So, yeah. I want to say something, I would say something else, but I'm afraid I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I mean, it's not like I'm going to piss off a lot. It's not like I'm going to not piss off a bunch of people by with all the bullshit that I spat. But yeah. And then we have season 3 of the finals. I didn't care about the finals, so whatever. And then we have Sam Lake announcing 2 things. Number 1, the physical special editions for Alan Wake 2. And number 2, the DLC for Alan Wake 2, featuring 3 characters from... Basically, those are what-if scenarios, short stories involving 3 characters. One of them is apparently one of the barista in Alan Wake 2. Second is Jess from Jess... I think her name is Jess Faden from Control. And the third character is from another Remedy game that I asked my sister about and she couldn't remember, but I honestly don't remember either. I want to say Quantum Break, but I'm pretty sure that's like a Quantic Dream game. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. The actor in Tim Breaker. Okay. All right, and then the waitress from the second game. Okay. But I didn't play Alan Wake 2. My sister did play it, and she thought it was actually really bad. So. Yeah, whatever. Even though I didn't play Alan Wake 2, despite the fact that I actually did play the first game. I didn't finish it, but I did play the first game. And then we have New World Eternum from Amazon Games. To which I wrote, is this going to blow graphics card too? Because if you remember, I think it was... Because if you remember the whole clusterfuck that happened with... New World, where the game was so unoptimized that it was actually destroying PCs. And honestly, I want to see if they're actually going to make the same mistake again. Then we have a trailer for the new story for Honkai Star Rail. By the way, even though I despise Honkai Star Rail and refuse to play it, I actually know the name of the characters that appeared in the trailer. Those being, in this order, Sparkle, Aventurine, Acheron, Robin, and then Firefly. Which, is it a bad thing? Is it a bad thing that I know these characters' names, even though I hate Honkai Star Rail? According to a friend, that's definitely is. It almost feels like hate watch, but yeah, I want to know what you guys think. Then we have Darker and Darker, which, yeah, I skipped. I don't care. Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, which is a Capcom game that's going to come out on July 19th. And honestly, after Stellar Blade, I honestly have no idea how to catalog this game anymore. Do I call them action RPGs? Do I call them light Soulsborne? Because I honestly have zero fucking clue how to actually call these types of games again. I mean, I could say, they're action games for sure, but I honestly have no idea how to actually call them. But yeah. Then we have Hyper Light Breaker, which... yeah, my throat is fucked if you're actually gonna notice. But then we have Hyper Light Breaker, which... whatever. Then we got Party Animals, which I don't think it was just a trailer. I think it's actually I don't think they ever announced anything in regards to Party Animals. But I want to say that I still remember that trailer from I think it was 2 years ago, and it was the best trailer at that year's Game Awards. Oh fuck where are the characters again? Royal Corgi, Orange Cat, Cat of the Goose, bullshit, and Duck and Absolutely Normal Duck, which by the way looks like a Psyduck. Oh Jesus Christ! But yeah, outside of that, I think there was nothing much. And then the whole Corps kit, which I wrote the fuck, because that honestly felt like, then I found out that it was basically stuff about Skate, the new Skate game, and how they're still working on it, but oh my god, that Corp stuff was some Devolver type shit. Like, do you know the average Devolver presentation? That actually felt like that. I mean, what the fuck was that all about? But yeah, then we have the new expansion for Pal World, the new island in Sakurajima, and about Pal World, I mean, what can be said about Pal World that hasn't already been said? I think this game is probably going to be my most surprising moment of the year, because the amount of, I mean, sure, there have been plenty of Pokemon lookalikes. There have been plenty of Pokemon lookalikes. Yokai Watch is one of them. But one that actually made this big of a splash than Pal World, I don't think there ever was a game that made a splash such as this one. Because again, fucking Pokemon with guns. That is something that only fan fictions would come up with. But we got a whole new ass game that has been around for almost 3 years by now, because the first trailer was apparently released in 2021, and that reason alone is the reason why Nintendo and Game Freak and the Pokemon Company cannot intervene legally against it. So yeah, that's still insane that the game exists at all. And then we have Valorant, the fact that this game is going to be on console, being ported on consoles, which I wrote skip because fuck if I care about Valorant. And other than the game is already toxic as it is. So now they put it on console, the game is basically become fucking Fukushima and Chernobyl are gonna be no. The elephant foot at the under the power plant under the Chernobyl power plant is gonna be less toxic than Valorant after that game comes out on console. And then we have the fact that Youngji is going to be in Inside Out 2. And honestly, first Arios in Trails into Reverie. Then the fact that he was going to be in the latest Yakuza game. And now he's in a Pixar game. Oh my god. This is pretty surreal, because if this was Youngie a couple of years ago, before he became a voice actor, I'm pretty sure this would have been the stuff that he would have straight up refused to go. I'm pretty sure he would have said something like, fuck Keighley, fuck the Game Awards, and fuck this shit, and fuck the Summer Game Fest. But yeah, that's kind of nuts. Then we have Squad Busters, which I'm not gonna lie, I actually watched the trailer of it plenty of times on YouTube, but number one, we skipped it, and I also assumed this was going to be some Clash of Clans type shit, but yeah, apparently it's a completely different game. And now the chicken was Ken Jeong, I'm pretty sure everybody knows it, but I think the barbarian was Chris Hemsworth. I mean, at least looked like him. I could be completely wrong, but at least it looked like him. Then after that, we have the fact that Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be releasing in 2025, and not much else. And then we got the fact, and we got a announcement of a demo tour for Phantom Blade Zero, which, yeah, I guess it's fine. I mean, again, it's one of those games that I care very little for, so yeah. And that was it for the Summer Game Fest. Honestly, this was actually pretty cool. I mean, we've had plenty of surprises, like the fucking Liquor Horizon game, the fact that Terry and Mai are going to be in Street Fighter 6, and what was it again? I think there was another game that was actually pretty interesting. I think Wonder Stop is a game. And then yeah, there's been the fucking Among Us show, which okay, I hate Among Us, but yeah, I guess I could consider it a highlight. The Killer Bean game, but yeah, that was actually pretty good. That was actually pretty good, and of course it's like a Shadow Cross Shadow Generations. But yeah, that was actually pretty fun. That was a pretty fun summer game fest. So yeah, I get my seal of approval. All that being said, see you next time, folks.